Okay, so what we have here is the Digiant 50 tripod I bought off Amazon for like $20. Might have been less. And I bought this so I could stop making people nauseous with camera work. Now, you do get what you pay for, which is the base is reasonably solid. Doesn't you get a little bit of deflection, you rotate, but that's never going to happen in normal operation. But when we get up here, it's very kind of loosey-goosey. And the problem is, if, let's see if I can get it now. See that there is a huge amount of, I mean, there might be 90 thousandths, about a 90 thou gap maybe. It's like a tenth of an inch gap here between the aluminum, this extruded aluminum bar, and the little plastic retainer. And the same issue is going to be internal with this, that this shaft is going to be way undersized for this tube. Now, axially, when you press, up and down, she's super solid. I'm actually impressed with how solid it is, but fact remains that this is still pretty loosey-goosey for my taste. But I don't want to spend $75 on a really nice tripod, so with some electrical tape, we're going to turn this super cheap tripod into a super skookum tripod. Okay, so if you're thinking I'm an idiot because I put way more electrical tape on here than what will fit in that gap, that was intentional. I want this to be, aesthetically I like things to be looking nice. So I purposely put more wraps on than I need, and what we're going to do is I'll unravel it, cut that little excess off, and we'll keep that process up until we've removed enough tape that this has as small a tolerance fit as we can. Okay, so we took off 7 wraps total, and we have now a much nicer fit than we did before. And unless you looked really hard, you'd be hard pressed to know that anything had changed. Okay, so I went ahead and flipped it over, and you can see how terrible a fit that is. It also tells me that the keyway that's holding this thing in is that lip right there on the left hand side, and then there's just those little keyways at the top and bottom of the frame are just there to keep the pole from rotating left to right. Okay, so we have the tube out, which took a ton of effort, and by a ton of effort I mean basically none whatsoever. It was just not even super glued. I don't want to say press fit, but it was like lightly taped, maybe a little bit of adhesive holding this in. So we just twisted the pipe and then pulled her out, and then we will put our electrical tape wrap right here until we do the same thing. We get a nice tight fit. Alright, so got everything back together, and harder to do this one-handed, but you can see we are infinitely stiffer than we were before. I mean, it's still a little flexible, but most of that is out of the head, which is what I'm going to fix next. Correction on that, I was just an idiot and didn't have the little piece tightened up. So overall, couldn't be happier with how that turned out. And still, actually no, it's not even loose at all. Everything's fine. I'm totally happy with this. For what I paid for it, yeah, couldn't be happier.